the high pressure temperature is set?
High pressure temperature. What is the refrigerant in this?
That is tag right there.
So it's 404
Okay, 404, and we have 404 on the scale. It's the orange one.
Okay.
Pressure is 275. Temperature is
112, something like that?
we'll call it 110.
110.
Low side,
On the low side, we have 0.
yep.
Minus 10.
What's the pressure?
Right here, and our pressure is
0.
close to 0, yeah.
So temperature?
And our temperature is minus 10.
Okay, let's go ahead and write that down. This is going to be high pressure.
Okay.
Okay, it's getting ready to harvest. So what we're doing, watching for the hot gas to go in. Here, harvesting.
Yes.
Okay,
You can fill them.
okay, this nice in here. See what you got. Oh, okay, let's do it. Okay, so we're at, let's see, the liquid line, 76 degrees. Put that in a note on the bottom. No, excuse me. The hot gas line, hot gas tubing, 76 degrees. The liquid line, 60 degrees. What happens is we have hot gas coming from the compressor, going into the evaporator, and melting the ice off of the evaporator.
That is a hot gas bypass, right?
Yes.
And it's bypassing the TXV, correct?
Yes.
So
Right here.
instead of going to the condenser, it's bypassing the condenser, it's going straight from the condenser, bypassing the TXV, and shooting hot gas
Onto the
into the evaporator.
evaporator. It's getting ready to fall. See it coming out?
Yeah.
Okay, now what it'll do is go back into cooling. See how the temperature's changed?
Okay.
Now the hot gas bypass is
Deactivated?
hot gas tubing is 80 degrees. And the liquid line is 84 degrees. Right here's the suction line. And go into the suction line and see what the temperature is on that. Suction. Good. Before harvest. Second before harvest. Okay, go ahead and put that in there. We had, while we didn't take it up. Yeah, we had it on the low side.
We had it on the low side, and it was pressure. It was 0, and then the temperature was -10.
Did you remember what the high side was? I know.
It was this actually.
Okay.
So 275, 110, and then on the low side it was 0 and -10 in temperature.
We just went through a harvest. It's going back into ice making, and the pressure on the low side, what's that? It's what?
Right now, it's above 300. It's 310,
And the temperature?
and the temperature is 110.
How do you know the temperature of 404?
It has a PT chart right here integrated to the gauge.
Okay.
So the orange part right here is specifically for 404A.
Correct.
So I can just read the needle between the PSI and the PT chart integrated into the gauge.
Correct. How about the low side? What's the pressure temperature on the low side?
The other side is 50 PSI, and then our PT is indicated that for 404A is 15 degrees.
Okay, so what was it 5 minutes ago?
Oh, 5 minutes ago, it was, on the low side, it was 65 PSI and 25 degrees temperature.
Okay, go ahead and put the low side. We'll mark that 1, 2, and 3. We'll put another mark, another data there, what it's doing partially through the process.
Okay. So right now, low side, 50 PSI. Degrees. High side we're 310. And the temperature is 110. Okay.
So now we went from 0 psi to -10. It harvested. It went into harvest. This is the low side,
Yes.
and it went up to 65 psi, 25 temperature.
Right.
Now what we have is it's going back into ice making. The low side is 15 psi and 15 degrees.
Right.
So what happens at 15 degrees? What's happening, starting to happen at 15 degrees?
We're going down to start making ice.
Why? Because it's 32 below 30. Because it's below 32 degrees.
Oh, below freezing point. Okay.
Yeah. See how we're icing up on the
The TXV?
TXV? Why are we icing up?
Because it's below the freezing point, so the atmospheric
Where's the ice?
moisture
Where's the ice coming from?
from the ambient.
Yep, from the ambient air. So now we have liquid coming into our TXV, going through the TXV, going into the evaporator, making ice, coming out of the evaporator, touching the liquid line, subcooling the liquid line to make it more operable with the TXV.
So basically, this is a heat exchanger, right?
What the suction line is doing is superheating because it's absorbing the heat out of the liquid. What the liquid is doing, it's subcooling because it's moving, because it's getting rid of the heat in the liquid.
Okay.
So now we're going to check what the superheat and the subcooling is. How do we check superheat and subcooling?
Okay, so for the superheat, we have to check the evaporator coil, the outside temperature, and we check our PT chart also.
No, we don't need the PT chart. for
Well,
that.
on our gauge is a PT chart, right?
Oh, you mean so we know what to add, what to subtract. Correct.
Correct.
So what is the temperature on the liquid line?
On our liquid line, No, on the gas line, we're supposed to check for the superheat, no?
Yes, that would be that
Which
one
is
there.
this one, right here.
Okay, and that temperature is,
It's 51 degrees, right?
yes.
Okay, so we have 51 degrees.
Let me see if I have it on this side. Yeah, right here. Suction line temperature.
Oh, okay.
So put that up
Upper
here.
line temperature, so 50 degrees.
And the low side pressure.
And our low side pressure and PSIG, it's going to be 48. And our PT chart is telling us that we're about 4 degrees.
Okay. And
Now on the high side,
now we subtract
correct.
4 from 50.
So we have 46.
That's pretty hot. High superheat means there's low refrigerant. Okay, let's just check the subcooling and see if that indicates the same issue.
Okay. So high side PSIG, we have 310. Saturation temperature is 118. Condenser line temperature is 84. So we have a big differential here also. So 118 minus 84, we have 34 of subcooling.
Okay? Subcooling, superheat. Oh, superheat up here.
46.
Now, high superheat means low on refrigerant. High subcooling means there's too much refrigerant. So now there seems to be when you see that situation, there seems to be a blockage in the refrigerant flow. So that's what we would troubleshoot to see what's going on.
Okay.
But then maybe it's normal for the ice machine to do that. I'm not that familiar with it, so we're going to monitor it for a few more minutes and see what happens. The ambient temperature in the room is, let me get another meter. Ambient air flowing around the condenser is, we go over here. .73 degrees.
That's our ambient temperature?
Yes. Now what I was doing, I started taking the temperature here and I noticed it was a little bit warm. Or warmer, why would that be? That would be because of the condenser. So when you take temperatures entering the condenser, you've got to make sure that you're not real close to the condenser, or that you're not taking air, leaving air on the condenser. They check to see what leaving air really is.
You for the condenser? Says 83.
83. So the condenser, entering air on the condenser is right there, 73. And leaving is 83. Now I said that temperature differential across the condenser is about, general rule of thumb is about 20. This is 10. That low temperature differential across the condenser is telling us there's not much of a heat load on the low side, on the suction side.
Okay.
And the reason there's not much of an airflow is because we got that ice building up in there. So that might even go down lower. What is our low side pressure now?
Low side pressure is about 40.
Temperature?
Our temperature is about 5 degrees.
Okay, so the temperature is dropping because of the ice buildup on the evaporator. The temperature is also dropping, and as it's dropping, you can see all the ice starting to form up on the TXV and section line of the Oh, I know why. You know why the superheat is so high?
Right.
Because we're absorbing heat out of the liquid line.
Oh, because of heat exchanger.
Yep. So let's take the temperature here and see what happens. See how it isn't touching here?
Right. So our temperature reading is being affected by the heat exchanger, so that's why we get a different temperature reading.
Yep. And what are we getting now?
Okay. It's dropping.
We'll call it 58. So we'll change this. 58, we have 50 before.
It's
I think these are, oh, that's right.
Yeah. Maybe because the cycle, but it should be dropping more, maybe.
Yeah, because it can't be 58 degrees. Why?
Because it has ice.
It has ice. It's got to be 32 degrees at
Right.
least.
There you go.
Well, we weren't making good contact.
Yeah.
If you don't use your instruments correctly, we gather bad information. We're going to make that bad decision on what we have to do with the machine. So before we do anything, like you did, we check and see to make sure all our instruments are working correctly. Now what do we got?
Okay, now we got 10.5 degrees.
And the low side temperature is about 5 degrees.
So now we have 5.5 superheat.
Okay, 5.5 superheat. What is that telling us about superheat coming, or liquid coming out of the evaporator? The lower the superheat, the more liquid has potential for coming out of the evaporator.
Okay.
But we don't need to be concerned about the superheat coming out of the evaporator getting to the compressor, because by the time it leaves the heat exchanger, the temperature is already back up.
Oh, okay. So there's no risk of flooding the compressor because the heat exchanger is taking care of that.
Yep,
Interesting.
it is.